words for granted all the time. You keep referring to them as a doorway.
Yeah, I love this concept because for a long time I thought of words as limiting. So they contain an experience or an object in a way that the real object has so much more depth than the actual word. But having said that, sometimes when someone says, "Oh, you're feeling sad, aren't you?" Well, they use one word, and you just feel something. It opens something up.
Yeah,
fascinating.
No, absolutely. It's how much they do, as well as conveying a feeling or an emotion, or making you realize what you might even be feeling. Just if you actually just take back to the importance of all of them, all the things that we tend to openly value in life. The idea of making a big pitch or a big proposal or a big successful interview, and then that changes my life forever because the business will have taken off, or I will have sold the business, or I've got that dream job. All of that is words. All of that is an exchange of words, and that when it went well, you will have delivered those words well. And by the same token, again, the words in the song that you're listening to whilst you do a PB, personal best, that they mean something to you. They will make you run faster, climb harder, whatever it is you're doing. As well as the melody, the words themselves carry that extra energy to push you through things. So there's so much more in it. And conversely, there's horrendous times where words destroy things. Just a few words. So for example, words that are chosen in a mean-spirited way to destroy a relationship or to actively hurt someone, those linger in your mind, in one's mind, for a very long time. And they're like a knife being stuck in, twisted around. And similarly, there's the horrible experience which I've had in previous working times where I've had to break bad news and tell people they've got a terminal diagnosis, that they've got cancer. And at that moment, you've got to be very careful with the words that you use, because they're not listening to much else. You've just destroyed their life in that room. And how you do it is important, to be as helpful as you can be in that moment, because I've said that to so many people, but I think that the number of people who remember the fact that they were in a room with me and they heard those words come out of my mouth, that's something that'll stay with them or the family members around them. So, when you take it back, every word is vital.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And especially from sort of a hypnosis point of view, you see the power of words and the power of what is attached to them. And like you say, in moments like that, and there'll be attachment to words and phrases. Emotions are like the glue. Glue, they stick around concepts and words, just like that. But powerful in many ways. Yeah,
absolutely. And glue is a good example, actually, because you can have a word which has maybe a latency, a lag time that's quite short. And then certain words which are emotionally laden, whether they're chosen to be or not, will stick around. It's like, why did they say it like that?
The words ending in CK, exclamation mark.
That really got under my skin. And I'd like to talk about a study which I get quite geeky about. I think it's a beautiful example of this concept. And this was done by the now Professor Elizabeth Loftus back in 1974. I'll pop a little cutting of it in this video, and a link to it as well. And it's Loftus and Palmer. I think the study is called Reconstruction of Automobile Destruction. It's a psychology study, and it was a hallmark, really important hallmark study. And we'll talk about it and then the implications. A simple study where two groups of healthy participants were shown a video of a car crash, and pretty much everything was the same for both groups of people that saw this video of a car crash. The only thing that was different was that when they were asked about the video later, both on the same day, and I think when they were then called back a week later, the way the questions were phrased changed one word. So some of them had the questions saying, when the cars collided, bumped, contacted each other. And in the other group, the questions I said, when the car hit or smashed into each other. And then they were asked more questions about what they remembered. In the group where everything else was the same, it's just in the questioning, they were asked whether the car hit or smashed the other car.
Mm.
They had memories and reported having memories and answered questions which suggested they saw broken glass in the video.
Yeah.
But there never was any.
Yeah.
Now, this was used to then kind of talk. Elizabeth Loftus has done a lot of subsequent work to talk about false memories, how you can implant them, that just by using words carefully. And that's why in law and in courts, you've got to be very careful. You don't lead a witness or put certain words to make them answer in a certain way or misremember something. That's one way, and obviously very important research for that. But to me, the whole study just shows you how much, just by changing one word, you've changed someone's experience, memory, perspective, because now you've changed their memory or their experience of it. Everything they do on the basis of that is also now shifted.
Yeah.
With one word.
Yeah. It's magical, yeah, and that's that just shows the power of how words activate the emotions and imagination. So that word has perhaps gone in and their imagination's done some work.
Yeah.
But that's also probably how we access memories. We access them with a specific, generally, of a specific emotion or purpose, and depending on what that purpose is, the answer will be different. So it's not like reading from a computer. It's memories change as you access them in certain ways.
Absolutely.
And one word, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're right. That's the way that the word itself, what it means to each person,
Yeah.
Can then impact, like you say, the whole. If you're remembering an episode of information that happened, your emotional feelings that went with it, your perspective on it, all of it is being re-engaged and pulled back into reality by a word.
Yeah.
You know, or just like the same with imagination. You're taken from this place, and if you hypnotize me, or start talking about the weekend that you've just had, I might go off to, you were in London this weekend.
Yeah.
It might just take me back to my memories of London, which are different to yours.
Yeah.
But it is starting a certain kind of synaptic chain of events in my brain.
Well, I'd even class that as self-hypnosis, because you're taking some sounds and potentially making images and feelings that will come in together.
Yeah.
Like some people might hear the word spider or arachnophobia.
Yeah.
And for them, that's something will come up and
Changes.
It changes.
Suddenly they're looking around a bit more because it's the same word.
And it's making me think of how it's like code. A sentence is like a line of code.
Yeah.
And it's not like you can decide whether you want to take it in. You've already taken it in. And some kind of conscious or subconscious processing is going, what does this mean to me? Is it worth me thinking about? Normally, once we've taken a phrase in from someone, we try and value it or work out what to reply.
Yeah.
It already activates some kind of doing in us, imagination, kind of like doing energy as well.
Yeah, autonomic responses.
Yeah, when you say a sentence to someone or read a sentence, that's a bit of code going in a way.
Yeah. And especially in this day and age now, even the words we use with LLM AI models, change a couple of words and you're going to get a different response.
Yeah.
And it is so targeted to how you're asking the question and which questions you've asked previously.
Well, I love how polite you are to ChatGPT, because it's also polite back. So that's nice.
It is nice.
Yeah.
I think, I could do with more constructive criticism at times, I think, from it. Yeah. So tying that, moving on from that, just building this up, if we then take that moment to reframe the importance of each potential word, and like a computer script, with computers, if there's a single, colon, if there's a single full stop out of place, computers is going to say an error, I don't understand this. Humans slightly different. There might still be an error, but they might just go away and be hurt for quite a while, not mention it to you. I didn't like how you said that to me. I didn't understand what you meant. But it's interesting that little comparison of how a computer will just outright reject it. Maybe people less so.
Yeah, but I would also say that it can tell you something about yourself. If you get upset by something, it might be like, actually, there was some truth in that, or I fear there might be some truth in that. So each bit can be useful if you apply a bit of mindfulness, really go into what a sentence meant to you or an experience, and work out if you're projecting onto that as well.
Yeah.
Separate that from the experience. And yeah, so this code, even though it goes in automatically, you can train yourself to appreciate it, almost appreciate it, maybe not all the time, but it will tell you something about you on some level.
And also why it might be pinging around your head.
Yeah.
That person said that thing, and now it's been 4 weeks later, I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah. That's an invitation. And that invitation keeps coming.
And yeah, we've covered a bit of that in another video, which we'll link up here, about the P450 response.